welcome to part 1, introduction part 1 of a huge size Earth map scenario of Civilization 3, i.e. the best game in the world in my opinion. Here we have a custom scenario that I've modified to... So I haven't created the map, but as you can see it's a huge scenario of the Earth. I've modified some of the governments to be to allow more military police as well as more drafting, as well as increased productivity along all of the tiles. So as we'll see, most of the sea and ocean squares are significantly more productive in terms of food. Europe has been expanded westward to allow for more production there. A few more resources have been added, as well as Japan. It's been made a significantly more potent ally, and the Japanese civilization has been made a lot more powerful in terms of all of its civilization traits. So it has most of the civilization traits to allow them to expand and potentially make the game interesting and attack the eastern side of Asia. Similarly, these islands have been played with a bit, but not too many changes have been made. And I think I might have made Hawaii a little bit bigger. So let's go ahead. Now we can either play as the Germans, who start off with additional traits as well. They are industrious as well. The Japanese will see their beneficial traits. They have all of the above, essentially. We have Russia, which has been made a little weaker here because I personally play as Russia usually, and I like to make the game a little more challenging. And I think America has been made a little bit more powerful as well to make them more interesting. So has France, and so has Portugal, I believe. Yeah, and they have a few more benefits, more civilization traits. So let's see, let's make sure Germany's in the game. We'll play as Russia. We'll have America in the mix, Japan for sure in the mix, France, Portugal. These are some of the civilizations I've added to have start locations. And let's see, I think I've added... That's all I've added so far. And the Netherlands, and the Inca and the Mongols. And we'll let the rest be random for now to make them more challenging. Oh, and Rome is there as well. And Rome has actually been placed... oh, there we go. Rome is here. Rome has been made not more powerful, but they've been placed next to iron reserves in Africa. And we're putting the AI on most aggressive to make things more interesting. I personally allow domination of victory as well as conquest. I always select respawn AI players, even though that actually doesn't change anything. I've never actually seen AI players respond. I have seen scientific villagers, which are great, and I always personally play on Monarch. So without further ado, let's begin. Now I have also I have also modified the map such that all of the start locations are on rivers, and most of them have some sort of significant food source around. So for me personally, I like to start near cattle, and I think a few other civs have been also tweaked in this way. So now let's see, on our first turn, let's just start out with a warrior. Let's go ahead and improve this cattle. Let's expand northwestward. And let's not forget to improve our science. Since this is the first turn, we're not too much going on, but we shouldn't forget to change our science slider, otherwise we lose out on that first turn of science research. There we go, nothing really too much to do here. Improve this cattle. Just continue expanding this way. Just explore the Ural Mountains. Yeah, and let's keep making warriors. And exploring a bit more. Let's make a road here, some commerce. I'm pretty sure civilization is up there, I believe. Let's start this guy off with exploring too. Cool. Goody hut. So as we can see, we have population growth soon, as well as the settlers. Now, most of my cities are on managed citizen moods here, so I have played a few smaller games on Emperor on smaller maps where I manage all of that by hand, but for this larger game, we're not going to be micromanaging too much. So this is just the default setting for new cities. Let's go ahead and keep expanding. We'll go this way, fight these dudes. Let's hope it's a city. Hope it's a city. Ah, okay. Technology's good too. Keep expanding this way, and we have our first contact, England. Hello. Let's see what kind of technology y'all have. Okay, they already have alphabet. So, chances are we're not going to be able to do our Republic slingshot, where we research code of laws, then philosophy, and then philosophy will give us a free technology, so we would get to pick Republic. Okay, let's just keep expanding. Some more commerce. These guys haven't attacked us yet. Let's take a chance here. Luckily, we have that fighting bonus against barbarians, so we always get that benefit. Let's get some gold from them. No. Okay. That's annoying. Let's keep expanding here. Keep trying to make first contact with more civilizations. And let's fight these guys. Okay, that's possibly the worst luck ever. Okay, let's keep expanding. Keep searching. Let's hope nobody attacks us this early. Thank you, barbarians, for not sending your warrior over to my vulnerable capital. Some cattle, nice. Oh, and we see the outline of something blue here by Germany, just chilling over there. Okay, let's keep expanding. The reason I'm doing this is because I did take a look at the map. We have some more resources here, so kind of cheating a little bit, but it is what it is. Make the game a little more interesting. You can see that thanks to their industrious quality, they've already expanded a bit, so they already got some things going on. Contact Germany, who's annoyed because of our trespassing already. That makes sense. Let's check out what the English have. Bronze working and ceremonial. Will you give us alphabet if we give you? Nope. Okay. Fun while that lasted. There we go. Thank you, Germany. Thank you for the help. Let's make a worker here. Because we didn't get a city over here as our boost, let's go for a... Now, some people are fans of city, space-based city, space-based city. Some people do discard cities early on in the game and tightly pack them together. Yeah, you know what? Let's pack our cities closely together this game, just to start things off and make things more interesting. I'll make this city called Discard 0. Yeah, let's be normal. Let's start counting from 1. Cool. We got a warrior out of it. Thank you. And let's start making a settler. This guy will just set to explore. Nice. See a goody hut there. Love those things. Let's see, we're not that advanced yet. Cool. Warrior code. Nice. There we go. We see some rivers over there. Very nice. Now let's keep building this way. Now that we have a worker to... The plan with this worker is to improve all of our local tiles. And the purpose of the discard city so close is to double the improvements. So as soon as we generate settlers, we can use improvements that are going to be between these two cities. Let's make a warrior to defend our homeland. So now we see a lot of plains here. I took a look at the map earlier. We have a lot of plains here to the north. So chances are we're going to want to irrigate all of this. This is kind of a mixed bag. There are a lot of plains here, so we'll want to irrigate those as well if we expand there. Africa is a totally different ball game, but we'll see how that goes. Asia is doesn't have a lot of luxuries. So again, trying to keep this as realistic as possible, but I did take a look at the map when I was editing it, so gotta take that into account. I'm personally a fan of a more symmetric design, so I'm thinking of either putting a mine here and then irrigating this way, or keeping things symmetric since we're in despotism right now. Despotism, however you say it, we're not going to really benefit from irrigation early on. So let us actually irrigate this way diagonally in the future, and we're going to put a mine right here. So then I'm thinking of optimal city placement, so we're probably going to actually, when we expand, want to put a city here so that we use these two tiles. So a good city spot would be here. Then if we space them out here, would be another good spot for a city. Since we don't want to be too close, let's put our next city here. So let's make a road here and hope that no barbarians kill us. Cool. Speaking of no barbarians killing us, let's send over that skilled warrior. Thank you, friendly barbarians. Let's mine those tiles right there. Let's keep exploring Europe. The beauty that is Europe. Okay, nice, some food. Always a fan. Cool. Let's move this worker here, warrior here. Let's preemptively improve those tiles. Most people, a lot of newer players will tend to automate their workers. I suggest that being one of the first things that people issue and start actually micromanaging their workers, at least. It does actually make a significant difference in terms of gameplay. And especially during warfare as well. So right now I'm thinking let's just keep this warrior here for now. I'm debating either keeping him here or expanding, so we do probably have some barbarians or civilizations on most aggressive exploring to the south of the homeland. So let's, the English here, they're not going to be a problem for a while. We don't really know what's going on all over the place. Yeah, let's fortify. Let's preemptively improve this tile. Let's fortify our worker so that no barbarian cavalry gets to us. And next turn. Okay, at this point, I kind of want to explore this perimeter here by hand, and then I'm going to let the settler, scout, automate his exploration and go from there. I don't really micromanage exploration too much except for the beginning phases of the game. And I'm immediately building roads on these tiles because they're being used for both food and production, and I would like to get that commerce bonus from the tile as well in order to fund our much needed research. Excuse me. Cool, so now once we improve this, we're gonna have some population here, so the next unit we're gonna want to create here, nice, thank you, is probably a warrior, because in 7 turns we're going to have a population growth and that they're going to become unhappy. Again, to make things symmetrical, probably, yeah, so that we can share these tiles. We'll do things on a diagonal, so we'll be able to also share this mine. Cool, we can expand further here, make a road here. Now, this is a trick I like to use. Since we have a lot of research points or gold going towards science, 9 per turn, we might already actually be almost done researching alphabet. And because of that, we can actually see we only need 8 gold. We only need 6, 5, 3. We don't even need, see, we're actually only 1 gold away from alphabet. So what I'd like to do when I have a few turns left on research is I'll scale my research back. See? Plus 8 gold per turn in 1 turn. Or we lose out on that gold and still get alphabet in 1 turn. So a lot of newer players don't do this, but it is a handy trick. Next turn. We did lose some production here on the settler, but that is okay. Now let us not forget to... I'm most likely going to beeline straight for literature, to be honest. Because I've scaled up how much commerce and how much food we get from coastal cities, I'm thinking to myself that we'll likely have other civilizations that are successful in researching philosophy and our code of laws. So I'm just going to go directly for literature, hope I'm able to produce a great library, and then kind of parasite off of my opponents and see. So yeah, let's max out our science research. Let's mine this. Thanks to this being a quote-unquote coastal square, we get that benefited line of sight, so we can see things going on here now. And let's kind of explore in diagonal here. I'm a fan of this. This is going to be a great source of growth for us, so let's beeline for it eventually. So let's make that warrior. And since we're almost see, now that we've completed, because we've put discard 1 so close to our mines, to our capital, now we're still using, the capital is still using this square, but we're going to have these 2 squares free, and our production is switched, and we're getting a settler quicker. So now we don't really need a warrior that's going to be military policing these guys, and at 3 population, these guys are going to be unhappy. So luckily what we can do is going to build one of our either future city here, which is going to get a bonus production from this grassland, or whether I want to put that city here. That should leave enough space for our productive capital, or incentivize rapid growth, and in 2 turns build a city here. I'm going to be a bit more expansionist and go for that. Oh, cool. And we have another cattle here. Beautiful. So yeah, this will be a great location for a city. We have a river here. We have some cattle. And that'll be great for rapid growth. So now let's search this way. Oops, kind of wasted some exploration points there. Let's take a risk. Let's hope that nobody attacks this worker who's almost done with his project. And let's also take a quick look at our opponents. So England is, again, they're really benefiting from the population growth along the coast. So we have 19 rivals, current turn. We're pretty small compared to England right now. Pretty small compared to Germany as well, who's also a coastal city. So yeah, we're kind of playing catch up here. And most of our points are from territory. We did kind of take a few turns hit because we settled so close. So we didn't get as much territory as we could have. The AI tends to space out, like so. Because they like to use these 2 tiles in the immediate vicinity. These are the only usable tiles. They can't really use 2 at a diagonal in each direction. So they've spaced out to get this gold and these gems as well, which really makes sense. And so York has fish here, so it makes sense that they've settled here, whereas we are going for a human-optimized efficiency plan. Now, when we want to expand, we're probably going to want to use the resources here, like these cattle, this coast. So I'm not really going to focus on sending this worker back up here to irrigate this way and to use all of these plains. We're probably going to want to, oh right, and because usually we have movement bonuses, but to cross rivers, we haven't researched, I think it's engineering yet. In the Middle Ages, we get to cross rivers. Yeah, roads can now bridge rivers. We don't get that movement bonus because there's a cross the river. Okay, regardless, I think I'm going to take the movement hit on this worker. Typically, I don't really like to do that. And I want to improve this cattle, but because this city is going to be small when we settle, we're not going to really have the benefit of this cattle at first, so this worker can go here, he can start mining, and we'll go from there. We'll start expanding this way, search for friends there, and let's explore these. Great, another cattle, no river, regrettably. Let's just keep exploring our southern lands, southern borders. Let's build a mine here. Let's fortify this dude. And let's build another city. Novgorod. Cool. So thanks to our... So we do have kind of a corruption already, which makes sense because of the distance to the capital. But luckily, we're not wasting too many points. Plus, we'll have that production bonus soon. So we do have increased population growth here, which is super. We do have temples, thanks to ceremonial burial. But let's go ahead and, in an optimal world, we would have both cattle. Maybe we should put our next city here. That way we link the culture. Oh, but we want a city here. I'm thinking we link the culture somehow without actually any improvements. Yeah, that would be good. We should put our next city here. That way we can use 1-2 tiles here. The capital is not too restrained, so it'll be able to use the tiles in the future here. We'll be able to maybe fit in a discard city between these two. And when we go to feudalism, we'll be able to population rush a lot of projects, which will be great. So let's, for now, let's keep expanding. Let's make more friends, and let's build scouts and learn more about our world. At this point, the scout will take care of this southern exploration. Let's make friends over here. Let's just hit explore. Let's let this warrior do his thing. Now we don't want to actually, okay. This city will actually produce a settler soon. So let's see if my plan to settle will be safe here. Take a small risk here, but not really, because we don't really see any barbarians here. This warrior will take care of scouting here, so let's actually go here. Hey, nice. Thanks, Seljuks. We have the Germans, who are going to beat haha to the goody hut here. They've made it surprisingly far, though, across the world already, which might lead me to believe there aren't really too many goody huts left here, or maybe they just beelined for it. Do they know something I do not? Okay. So now, let's pretty much just make this a worker slash warrior slash settler factory. We'll probably lose a few turns. We won't have a quick enough population growth to support a settler here. But we do want to settle this direction. Yeah. Yeah, let's build a warrior. That way we'll be able to secure our lands as we expand towards here. So let's preemptively put these guys here. Let's make a plan for settling. We'll probably want to settle on this hill. And if that way they can share the tiles during growth. Our next city would be here somewhere. That way it's across the river. We got to expand into Europe a little bit, not conflict for too many resources, and then space city. Then we could put a city here, use those 2 tiles, and then have a city here. Okay, that works great. Let's do that. Since we have coast increased for coast has additional food, let's beeline for it. Let's hope this is good. Great, because we're expansionist, we do get a lot less barbarians and a lot more positive outcomes of goody huts. And now that we've sufficiently explored this, let's just let the scout do his thing here. Cool. Enough conquerable land around here. Nice. Okay. Yes, now that our settler is ready, We have too much production here, so now the settler is going to be produced too quickly. So let's just produce warriors here. We're not going to really produce any city improvements and discard cities. And if we do, we would probably just population rush barracks and then immediately sell them for profit. So, and then use military police to make any unhappy citizens content. So let's just go for warriors here. Now we can either have significant growth in 6 turns, or we can have significant growth in 3. So let's go for this one for now. And we can put a discard city here. And that way we make sure all of these tiles are used. So these tiles are going to be used. Great. Then this one is not going to be used, but it will be because we'll have a city here as well. I could do that this turn, so it's going to be ultra productive, but it's not going to really have population growth, so this is an option here. That's my other plan for a future city. As well as here, which is going to reach the capital's square as well, so no wasted productivity. The next city would probably be here, as well as here on this hill, so that we can produce food in the surrounding squares and have population that can actually take advantage of all these mountains. And that works out nicely with the city here as well. City, space, space, city. And, you know, a mix of spacing. Yeah, so let's go for this square here. Now we do have another mine here, but we're not going to really take advantage of the commerce here yet, because we want to beeline for the food here. And beeline this way, and beeline this way to this cattle, this gold. Here, this would probably be a nice spot for a city. Or if we're a little more developed, then here, and then another city here, so that we can use all these tiles for food and for productivity here. So let's keep this warrior here. Luckily there's no settlers on this guy. Let's also check in and see. Sometimes I like to use gold, and masonry 9 working great, so if they declare war on us, that's the end of that game. Ceremonial burial, blah blah blah, ceremonial burial. Okay, yeah. We're not really militarily impressive, so we're not going to really get good deals from these civilizations at this point. So settlers would still probably be wasted turns when we produce them, so let's create a warrior here. Let's keep expanding. Let's keep searching for resources. Now let's explore down south here. Let's see what we have. Let's build a road here. Cool, so that's an acceptable loss of a few shields. Or we could produce a warrior in 2 turns and waste no shields. Actually, yeah, let's do that, because I'm not happy about this archer being here. Let's intimidate him for a bit. Okay, the Germans seem peaceful right now. They don't want to attack. What happened to St. Petersburg? Let's do that. There we go. And now the benefit and downside of having more territory is now our opponents will see us both as more threatening, but also more vulnerable, not vulnerable to attack, more of a rival. So we can see we have some more territory points here, but still not growing as fast as the other ones. Okay. So now let's improve to these tiles. Let's be sure to connect all of them. So the objective here will be to build a road between these 2 cities and improve this cattle, which I'm assuming St. Petersburg is currently using, yeah. And I'm assuming Novgorod is using, yeah, this cattle. Okay. Still push this archer around a bit. Hope they don't attack. Settler. I don't think I don't think Germany or England will attack us this early on in the game. The AI most likely will if they see vulnerable cities, but since we're keeping warriors here, they know they have a low probability. So they'll be a bit more pragmatic than that. So now we're going to get a settler here. Let's also potentially reinforce that. We can either build a city here and start producing a lot of units for defense, which might be good because the Germans do have a good military. Yeah, let's do that. Let's start using these tiles instead of. I was thinking of an alternatively having another settler here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's push this guy out. Let's fortify. Get out of my land. And yeah. So we can either have a city here. Or here. So we can either use this food here but kind of encroach on Novgorod, or we can build a city here, kind of like an outpost, but that has a few residents. Or we can have a city here that uses at max these 4 food tiles that are going to be good for population, and go from there. Or we can build a city here that makes use of these tiles, these 5 tiles. So yeah, 5 is better than 4 for sure. And then our next city could be here. Or here. And we could go like that, yeah. Sounds pretty good. Oh, cool. And we would get 1 food from this hill as well. Cool. Cool. So now we see some barbarians moving around. Not good. Definitely not good. Not terrible, but not great. Let's move this, push this guy out. Let's keep building that road. Let's make sure no barbarians appear here. So that's why I'm keeping this guy here. We should probably protect St. Peter, Novgorod. Just keep a dude there. Since a warrior will be done here soon, we can start exploring with this guy. There we go. Follow him back, protect our worker. Nice. This guy will make a warrior for this settler. So we can have him explore, or we can just, let's just protect the borders for now. Yeah, let's protect Novgorod as well. Okay, this guy's pretty weak, so let's put him on a forest. There we go, that's great. There we go, let's protect our lands. This guy fortifies here. And yeah, let's check in on our rivals as well. Masonry, the wheel, ironworking, they're pretty advanced. How advanced is England? The wheel, ironworking. Yeah, we really need to make new friends so that we see what kind of technologies we can pit against each other. We're in a pretty advantageous spot. We're pretty vulnerable from all directions, but luckily we do have the opportunity to make first contact because we should take full advantage of the fact that we're expansionist. So let's make another scout here. Then let's go exploring southwards. We most likely won't find any goody huts because most of them have been taken by the civilizations down south by now. But yeah, here we have a good balance between shields and food. We're not going to waste too many, I feel. So let's start working that. And mining this is already going to ruin that symmetry of mine irrigation. Oh well. Okay, let's keep a dude here. Let's fortify him on Moscow. Let's move this warrior here. Move this warrior here. Move this worker here. And beeline for that. This is what I mean by rich supplies of food along the coast. And that's with 1 food penalty because we're in despotism. So you can imagine how much food they have and England has. Cool. So Novgorod is almost done with another settler. So is Moscow. Exploring here. Oh, this is interesting. We see some nice fertile lands here to expand into, which is great. Now, Germany and England does have more technologies on us because they're tier 1. So masonry, the wheel, and ironworking. Okay, ironworking is tier 2, but I'm pretty sure that these tier 2 technologies, rather than tier 1, are more expensive to research. I could be entirely wrong. So that might be why we're struggling with writing. Also, I found that sometimes the AI tends to go for a flat approach. It really depends on the civilization. Whereas because we have the human, quote unquote, human advantage, we can beeline directly for the technologies we want. And then once we have them, trade them around. So let's keep an eye out here. Let's fortify this guy. Thanks to this warrior, we have content citizens of our glorious capital. And great, now we have another settler. So let's keep building our military. It's not going to be very strong yet, but we can probably start with a defensive unit in case we do get attacked from the west, since they do have iron reserves there. And I'm pretty sure England will have iron reserves. So I think we do want to channel most of our funds into, we do want to have most of our cities produce settlers and warriors, because we do want to expand rather quickly. But that being said, we do want to be pragmatic and mostly play a defensive game at this point as well, because we definitely do not have the firepower to be on the offensive. So let's keep an outpost here. Let's see whether we can, a settler would take 5 turns, and that's using both of the citizens as well, so can't really do anything about that. Yeah, and it wouldn't really make sense to have him be 10 and 8 when we can use this, and the capital doesn't really. Well, in 6 turns Moscow will have another citizen in 6 turns. So that might benefit us. We'll think about micromanaging in 6 turns when Moscow needs another square. But for now, let's produce a defensive unit. That wouldn't hurt us too much. That we can produce a settler. Okay, great. So now let's mine this guy to increase the production of St. Petersburg. Found some incense, great. We can use that for, that's a great luxury to have. Oh snap, see some barbarians from the north. Yeah. I might make another discard city here, just to take full advantage of these resourceful tiles and commerce-rich tiles, since we're not really taking full advantage of them yet. Can definitely start producing more military units, so that's why we're gonna have build this city now, surrounded by productive tiles here. And then our next city will be here. And then let's beeline for this guy as well. That worked out nicely. So this guy's gonna make a spearman. This is gonna take 2, so we'll take him up to here. Let's hope our warrior is successful. If they decide, okay, they're not too aggressive. Oh, perfect. That worked out perfectly. So we'll start making a settler for a few turns, and then slow it down once Moscow gains another citizen here. Let's scare this guy away. Go away, barbarians. Let's keep a lookout here. Who's more important? Oh, we can do this. There we go. And send a unit here to protect. Cool. So now we'll have an objective of improving mostly these tiles, so that we can share them between the 2 cities. We'll most likely have mines here, another mine here next, so that all of these 3 cities will be able to use this central tile. That'll be good. And let's make a warrior to defend our cities. Again, mostly a defensive game here, expanding slowly but surely. Okay, soon this guy will need a spearman, so he'll go here. Again, I do want to expand, but also want to expand quickly, so either the productivity here or the cattle here. Okay, let's start with this cattle. So now let's plan our next cities. So I think we'll do a city here, definitely a city here. So I think our next city would be here. The next one would be here. And then that way we can get the gold and gather all of the food here and then do a city here. Okay, that works for me. Here. So yeah, city here. It would have been helpful if we had built roads. Or actually, we can make a city here thanks to these roads. Our next settler will go here, and then we'll start channeling food and building workers and improving these tiles. Then that way we'll be able to improve this section of Russia rather quickly. Build out those and see how that goes. And then we'll instantly go here. So that will be our expansion plan. And that actually sums up part 1 of this game. I'm not really sure what the plan will be, but I think I'll just be uploading these videos sequentially. If you watched this far, thanks so much for watching. I'm open to comments, any suggestions as how the game should go, any recommendations, any ideas as to, or comments such as, dude, you don't know what you're doing with Civ 3. But yeah, thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next time for part 2.